Back then, man, to be honest, until I got into WWE, I didn't smoke.
Okay.
I didn't smoke. I didn't start smoking until I was 27 years old. And it was after Papa Shango. And I was going through a bad divorce. And that's what really happened to Papa Shango. But I was going through a bad divorce. And Taker, I think, was filming a movie in LA, which is like a 4-hour drive from Vegas. He was filming Suburban Commando, I think it was called, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so he called me up. He's like, "Hey, big dog, why don't you jump on your bike and ride out here, spend a couple days with me?" Long story short, I I tried it for the first time and been smoking ever since.
What city? What? Give me like top three, top five cities then.
L.A., California. People can say, "Oh, I don't know." I'm not a big. I was born in California. I live in Nevada. That's more of my home now. But by far, overall, the best that I have smoked has been from California. I have smoked good stuff in other places, but California's been doing it so long, and I'm not saying they've been doing it so long. They got some really good herb out of California. When I started smoking, I'm hanging out with Be Real, with Cypress Hill, and that group. So I never really smoked shitty weed. I always smoked the best weed by far. And at 90, 91, whatever, somewhere around that time, good weed was $500 a zip. So a quarter, they tried to get you for a buck 30 for a quarter. They didn't sell 3.5s, they didn't sell eights. So, I think we were paying $500 a zip, an ounce. Yeah. And then because the only place, New York, later in the 90s, late in the 90s, they came out with sour diesel, which was a nice strain. But people were so far behind what California was doing that, yeah, man, 500 a zip if you wanted the good shit.
How much? I know you had to have traveled with it, but did you do a lot of traveling, or did you just get it wherever you went?
I didn't travel with it. It was
Yeah.
too easy. It was always there, man. People
Yeah.
always wanted to smoke with me, and the girls used to always bring me weed, and it was never an issue. I
No
didn't.
need. No need to risk traveling with it when you know it's
No,
going to be there.
I didn't. I'm not saying I never did, but if I did, it was like an emergency situation
Yeah.
because it was not worth it. That D'Lo told a story a couple of days ago in Manchester. He goes, "Let me tell you how strong the Godfather is." He said, "We landed in Boston. Godfather had nothing on him, and by the time he left the rental car, he had a bag of weed." He says, "I don't know where he got it, but all of a sudden we're in the rental car, and he's like, 'Look,' And so yeah, it didn't take. Well, dude, I would return the cars, and they'd be smelling like weed all the time. And so the guys that would take the cars, like we always rented from, I think Avis, I think we rented from. The guys that took the cars, they'd be like, 'Damn, it smells good in here, Godfather.' And I'd be like, 'Well, here, dude, I don't fly with this shit.' And I might have a quarter zip on me or something, right? Or whatever was
Yeah.
left from what somebody gave me. And so I would give it to them. So they're like, 'Godfather, here's my number. If anytime you come through here, you let me know and I got you, bro.' And that's a lot of it. The girls would bring, it wasn't an issue, man. It was there
Yeah.
for me.
That's
Isn't that kind
amazing.
of crazy, though?
That's amazing.
I pick up
Rent
my
a
car
car
and
service.
they bring the car in and sit in the glove box. Kilo's like, I swear to God, he goes, I've never seen that like that in my life.
Yeah, what package is that? I've never seen that on the internet when
Yeah.
I'm renting my cars.
Can you
I've never
imagine
seen
Richard
that weed
Carl
in the
said, "Hit
car.
there, damn, you got some money there. I'm the
Uh,
Godfather. Come on." Back then, I was smoking probably a couple ounces a week. Right now, I'm probably a half. See, I also do something called, I do a lot of dab hits, and that's concentrates, which is a lot stronger than weed. But I probably go through under an ounce a week. But in the wrestling days, at least couple days, because I was on the road smoking so much. I can just tell you this, and I don't have an answer to this. I could, but if I took 200 drug tests, I never failed one. So I mean, I don't. Did I
Okay.
ever? Anybody ever tell me I could smoke? I really think certain people they were looking for certain things, and I don't think they were looking for me. I don't know. I never did. I'd be smoking with people, they get busted, and I wouldn't. So I don't have the answer. All I can tell you is I've never flunked a drug test.
Name two other people in the pro wrestling industry that can keep up with the Godfather.
The only person it's not. I'm not even sitting here trying to brag. I'm just being honest. I've got issues when it comes to smoking. So uh, I don't know. There's a guy named GWC, Greatest Wrestling Collection, and even though he's not a wrestler, he could probably out. He smokes more cannabis than I do a day, much more. So he outsmokes me. RVD can keep up.
Okay.
You know.
That's what I was
Uh,
thinking
I can't think of nobody else that I know.
of. Okay.
I mean, I know just about everybody. I know a lot of people say they smoke and they act like they smoke, but depends what you mean like smoking. I mean, to keep up with me, RVD would be the only one, and there'd be a point where Rob would say, "Come on, man, is that enough or what?" And I'd be like, "The thing about me, the more I smoke, the more energy I get. It doesn't, I don't care if it's an indica or a sativa, it does not make me tired. It gives me energy and it just keeps me going. It keeps me in a good mood and it keeps that guy called the bear away. And we don't ever want him to show up. So it's better me to be medicated all day. But yeah, it gives me. I mean, when we hang up here, dude, I've done so much today, and I'm getting ready to do a lot more. And it's because cannabis keeps me going. I always
Great.
tell people it's not for everyone, but it works well for me. Thank God.
What is there somebody out now that is now they're known to have smoked weed that you were surprised back in the day?
That's
Not
out.
really. Yeah, like that's known now, but when you found out, it was probably earlier than everybody else did.
I don't know, man. Maybe people probably didn't know. Ric Flair really never was a smoker. He didn't start smoking weed till he started selling weed. But Hogan's always been a smoker.
Yeah, I'm sure
Oh,
you
Bret
knew
Hart.
that
How
before
about
we
Bret
did.
Hart? Bret Hart lets people know now. Bret
Yep,
Hart's
Bret Hart
always
does
been a
let everybody
smoker.
know.